All right, well, brothers, good to see and sister. It's so good to see you all. I'm glad you all could make it. My name is, you can see, is Brother James Bradley. I'm from Greenville Avenue. They're in Dallas. Greenville Avenue is actually in Richardson, which is a suburb of Dallas. Dallas Cowboys. You know what? I have not been a Cowboys fan in a long time. I was born and raised in Dallas. Let me go on the record. And I don't believe we've had a quarterback since Roger Staubach. That's how far back I go, right?
Yeah, but you got one.
We got one now, don't we? Yes, sir. You are so right. I did not. I was not a big fan. I was not a big fan. But man, I like that. Now you know they're already talking about bringing what's his name? Romo. See, I can't even call his name. Romo.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he'll get in there and throw. He'll get in there and throw 2 interceptions right off the bat, and then they'll say, "Come on, Dak. Come on, Dak. We want Dak back." Okay. Anyway, so thank you all for coming. My name is Brother Bradley, as I mentioned, and my company is ASSERT, Abundant Solutions, Enrichment and Resource Training. And we have a tagline because life was meant to be abundant. I started this business back some time ago. I was youth minister at Marsalis Avenue. Anybody know Brother Grover Washington? He was my mentor. And so I was youth minister under him. And we had a situation where we had a lot of our teenagers who were graduating high school, but they weren't trying to go to college. And it was real concerning for me. And so I put together a workshop. I said, we got to put together a workshop. Myself and my business partner, he's an elder at Marsalis right now, Joel Manze. And we wanted to give our kids survival training. But we kept struggling with that concept because it was just something that didn't sit well. And you know what we finally realized? God didn't mean for us to just survive. He meant for us to have abundant life. And so for that reason, we changed our whole focus from just surviving to having that abundant life. And so that's why we call it ASSERT, Abundant Solutions, Enrichment and Resource Training. And as you can see there, we offer consulting, training, workshops, and retreats. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Welcome to Atlanta. This is my second or third time being in Atlanta. I was blessed to be able to present at the National Lectureship back in 2014, was it not? 2014. I did 3 workshops then. And oh my gosh, had a great time. In fact, this was one of the presentations that we did. So were any of you at that presentation? Okay. All right, you can help me present this one then if you were there. Come on now, brother. You can help me present. All right. So I just wanted to make sure that you all understood that we presented this at the National Lectureship. This is raising the bar. But tomorrow is Destination Disciple. So today, my goal today is to shake you up a little bit, right? To stir you up. Remember Paul says, I want to stir up that, right? But tomorrow now, when you come tomorrow, I might mess you up, okay? I want to stir you up today, but I might mess you up tomorrow. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. This presentation is part of what I call my Mission Backdoor initiative. And so raising the bar, as you can see, we have a workshop called Evangelism 101, and we want to take evangelism from complicated to completion. It's my belief that we have complicated evangelism. And as a result of complicating evangelism, our members are afraid to engage in evangelism. And so that particular workshop talks about taking the complication out so that everybody is comfortable with it. And by the way, evangelism is the most natural thing that we do. We do it every day in a lot of different areas. So that's what that one's about. Destination Disciple, that's brand new. You'll see that tomorrow. And then Lead, Follow, or Get Out of the Way. Oh my gosh, this one is really powerful because it talks about how we interact with one another and how we interact not only with one another in our congregations, but as we interact with people out there to give us the best chance of bringing them into the Lord, right? Okay, so that's what that one's about, and we'll talk about that some more. So we're here to serve. Your virtual assistant has arrived. My company offers a lot of services. We may talk about those a little bit later that will help you as elders and ministers to focus on what you have to do, and then we'll take care of the rest. So that's why we call that the virtual assistant. We also offer, as a part of our services, a thing called Snapshot. All right? So my objective is to help you to open your front door and close your back door. Anybody, any one of you have a back door at your church?
Oh, always.
Right? You got that back door?
Eternally.
What happens in that back door? What goes on at that back door, bro?
Hey, you can't control it.
You know, folks just going out, right?
Keep rolling.
Right, and there's a way we can fix that. Now, we won't ever be able to close it completely. Y'all know that. But there are some things that we can do. So we want to help you open the front door and close the back door, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, so logistics, real quick. You have 2 cards that were in your seat. The blue one, and then the other one, the Raising the Bar. If you plan on being here tomorrow, please keep that Raising the Bar one, and that's yours to keep anyway, right? Because tomorrow, you'll see on the flip side of that is Destination Disciple, right? So you keep that white one, but I'd like to get that blue one back from you, all right? I'd like to ask you to fill that out, leave that with me, and when you do, we're going to do a drawing. By the way, that's my beautiful wife in the rear, Kimberly. That's my beautiful wife. She's going to come up before we leave this session. She's going to draw one of those blue cards, and I'm going to offer to you a snapshot. And what snapshot is I'm going to do a survey for either your youth, your married couples, or your singles. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to give them the link to go to my website to do a quick survey, and then I'm going to present to you a report based on that particular group, whichever you choose, right? And I'm going to show you how you can better serve that group of people simply because you now know who they are, what they're made up of, and that kind of thing. Does that make sense? All right. So if you'll fill that out and pass that in, we're going to do a drawing before we leave here. I call it Snapshot. This is just a quick view of some of the places we presented. The MIC, Ministers Institute Conference, some of you all know about that. Dallas area preachers and church leaders, the Mississippi State Lectureship, and the National Lectureship. And then Cliffview Church of Christ. I put them on here because they really adopted this concept of raising the bar. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. They're in Dallas, by the way. So reaching the lost and member retention. Are these your concerns? By the way, what do we have? Who do we have here? I know we have some elders, right? We got elders from Camp Creek, right? You from Camp Creek also? Boulder Crest, all right. All right. Where else? What else do we have? We have elders and ministers. Do we have any ministers? And you from where, sir?
Pompano Beach, Florida.
Okay, good. Yes, sir.
New Haven, Connecticut.
New Haven, Connecticut, and you, sir?
I'm with the Church of Christ in Winston-Salem.
Okay, good. So we got some ministers, we have some elders, and who else? Whom else? Deacons. All right, deacons. And you, sir?
I will fit in either one.
That's
I'm a member of the Metropolitan Church of Christ, Charleston, South Carolina.
okay, great. Because this presentation not only applies to ministers and church leaders, but members in general, right? Okay, we're going to talk about raising the bar. So, reaching the lost, see, that's how this applies to everybody, right? Because we're all supposed to be out trying to reach the lost. Is that correct? Reaching the lost and member retention. And by the way, each one of us has a role to play in that regard as well. You know, the way we interact with people, we can run some people off. Did y'all know that? Yeah. Yes, we can. Okay. And so we all have a role to play. So that's why it's okay. And I'm glad to see we got some regular members in here as well. Your challenges are our solutions. And so we call this a comprehensive approach to kingdom building. You see, this is more than just evangelism. And you'll see that in just a minute. It is bigger than just evangelism. It's called raising the bar. All right, there's that. We use that to signify that back door. Kind of like that individual is sneaking out the back door. And you know what's really interesting about that back door? People don't even try to sneak out, do they? They just walk out. They just walk out. Like the kids say, they just bust up on out of there. You know? All right? And so raising the bar. So questions. What are your challenges? Is there something that is making it difficult for you to fulfill your God-given responsibility? If you're an elder, your job, your number one task is to do what?
Feed the flock.
Feed the flock. Lord have mercy. Is there something that's keeping you from being able to do that? I just wanted that to sink for a minute. Because let me tell you what I've seen around the country. Elders get involved in everything but feeding the flock. We're checking on the parking lot. Lord have mercy. You know, we locking the building down. Need I go further? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Meddling.
What's that?
Meddling.
Watch out now. Okay, so meddling. So do you find yourself distracted, not able to concentrate on ministry? Could you use a resource that will help you address the needs of your members and your community? Right? And then the last question is, are you concerned with the fact that retaining members is a challenge?
Yes.
That's the agenda. We got a lot of ground to cover, so let's move. Okay? There are 3 monumental challenges facing every congregation today: bringing lost souls to Christ, accepting the new members into the fellowship. Did y'all hear that? Accepting the new members into the fellowship. That's critical, right? We'll bring them in. And one of the reasons they're going out that back door is because we're not doing an effective job in accepting them into the fellowship, right? And then the last is retention of both new members and existing long-term members. Because guess what? New members, converts aren't the only ones going out that back door, right? And so we got to fix that. All right, so this presentation seeks to address all of those. So here's the challenge. Within each local congregation, there are 3 areas of focus: the lost souls, new members, and existing long-term members. It is possible and often probable to get off balance in our approach as we try to address these 3, and I call it the balancing act. So let me show you that. First of all, here's situation 1, where we're overly focused on the members, right? We put a whole lot of focus on the delinquent members, the existing members, and the new members, but as it relates to visitors and evangelism, well, we kind of lack in that department, all right? So I call that being inwardly focused. And you know you're inwardly focused when you look at what you're doing, and every one of your fellowships, every activity that you do is all about your congregation. Does that make sense? Okay, that's when you know you're inwardly focused. All right, here's situation 2 where you're overly focused on non-members. Now, I might step on a few toes right here, especially with the ministers. Watch this. So we focus on prospects, visitors, and evangelism, but our members, both new and existing, go lacking. And we call this the starvation diet. And you know when this is seen a lot? From our pulpits on Sunday morning? Can I just be real, brothers? Yeah. Let me just be real. Okay? You know what Jesus said about the truth. You should know the truth.
Set you free.
And it'll set you free. Now watch this. So sometimes what happens in our congregations on Sunday mornings, we're so focused on the visitors, the new prospects, and evangelism that our members, and these folks are not, what is it, 98, 99% of our audience have already signed the contract. Is that right? We've already been baptized. And yet so much of our messages are focused on first principles. I can still stay in here? Okay, y'all look like, y'all, okay. And so our members leave from there starving. Okay, and we're going to talk about why that's so critical. Okay, so again, we call that the starvation diet. And then here's situation 3, where we're overly focused on tradition. Now here's another area I might get a little bit of pushback. We're overly focused on tradition, and so we put minimal effort into non-members and minimal effort onto our members because we're so focused on traditions. We're doing things like we've always done. You know, I heard a man say one time, if you keep doing the same thing the same way, expecting different results, what is that? Insanity. That's insanity. And yet, how many times have we seen ourselves focused on those things like we've always done, right? And nothing's changing. And yet, we keep doing what? Same thing. And we're still expecting something else. That's confusing to me, right? All right, so I call it the stagnation deactivation. And you know what? We'll even think that we're doing all right because we're comfortable doing what we've always done. That's comfort. All right? And then finally, situation 4 is where we're equally focused on members and non-members. And I call that the balanced approach. And that's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. So that's all 4 situations there. So here's the data. I know, now let me pause right here. Because sometimes it's been my experience as I'm working with leadership, church leadership, and I bring this idea of data. They say, oh, that's too businesslike, you know. But y'all, data is what helps us to know where we are. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's what that snapshot is, by the way. When you fill that blue card out and pull it in and turn it in, and that beautiful woman pulls your name, okay, what's going to happen is we're going to give you a report that shows you who that group is. All right? So data is important. All right? So what is the most effective way to reach people today? The Institute for American Church Growth asked over 10,000 people the following questions. Some of you probably seen this. What was responsible for your coming to Christ and to this church? The replies were 3% said I had a special need. 3% said I just walked in. 6% said I liked the minister. First time I did this presentation, ministers that were sitting in the audience say, ooh, that's low. Whose fault is that? I don't know. I'm just saying. 1% said I just visited there. Who's that? Somebody laugh? Okay, come on now. All right. 5% said I liked the Bible classes. 0.5% said I attended a gospel meeting. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Somebody said, Wow. 0.5% said the reason I came to Christ or to this church is because I attended a gospel meeting. Yeah. That one should have stung. Yeah, that one should have stung a little bit. Okay. 3% said I like the programs. But look, 78.5% of the people said I came to Christ or to this church because a friend or relative invited me. What does that communicate to you?
You got to focus on friends and relatives, the church as a whole.
You got to, see, it's all about what? It's all about relationships. Absolutely. You say what, sir?
It's motivating members to empower them.
Wait. Motivating members. If our members are excited about what the Lord is doing for them in their lives, and if they're excited about what's going on at Camp Creek or Boulder Crest or New Haven, Connecticut or Winston-Salem, North Carolina, what is that right? If they're excited about that, what do you think they're going to be doing? They're probably going to be inviting people. Amen. Right? You hear what I'm saying? Okay. Do y'all see anything else other than this 0.5% said I attended a gospel? Do y'all see anything else that's troubling to you? There's one more up there that's troubling to me. Okay, we ain't got a lot of time. Y'all thinking that's all I wanted to do. Okay, watch this. That one right there. I had a special need. Only 3%. You know what that tells me? That people are no longer looking to the church to help them with their special needs. And I don't know, brothers and sisters, but the last time I looked in the book and I saw how Jesus ministered, what was it about? Helping people with their special needs. Y'all, I don't know, y'all, but that one bothered me right there. All right? So, now that was why people came. This is why people leave. Y'all interested in this one? Okay, watch this. The church was not helping me to develop spiritually. 28% of the people said that. And by the way, when we do these workshops, just as you have that blue card, we do a survey of all the participants that ever attend one of our workshops. We'll talk about those workshops in just a minute. We ask them, what are their concerns? What are their issues? Do you know what their number one top issue or concern is? Spiritual growth. And so this data supports that. 28% of the people said the church was not helping me to develop spiritually. I did not feel engaged or involved in meaningful church work. That's 20%. 18% said church members were judgmental of others. Watch that run some people off. Right? 16% said the pastor was not a good preacher. All the ministers in here kind of getting lower. You see them kind of crouched down right there. You okay right there? Okay, too many changes. Yeah. You know, one of the things that psychologists and psychiatrists know about people is that we hate change. Yeah. So you start moving in different ministers and all of that stuff. People don't like that. That makes them uncomfortable. All right. 15% said members seemed hypocritical. Ouch. Members seemed hypocritical. We all know what that is. What is hypocrisy? What is that?
Play acting.
Play acting. Play in church. Okay, now, having said that, tomorrow is Destination Disciple. Y'all got to come to that one because I think it has something to do with this concept of hypocrisy. Watch this. Church didn't seem to be a place where God was at work. 14%. Wait. If the church didn't seem like it was a place where God was at work, well, who was at work? Oh. Ouch. 14% said church was run by a clique that discouraged involvement. Okay, keep that in mind. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Pastor was judgmental of others, and pastor seemed hypocritical. You do know that people are watching, right? We do know that people are watching. And they are watching for that kind of stuff. Okay, and that's what causes that back door, y'all. That's another way of looking at the data, that same data. All right, so here's the concept, raising the bar. BAR is an acronym for bring, accept, and retain. Y'all see, y'all like that way they come in? Bring, accept, and retain. All right, so we're talking about raising the bar. That's the strategy. So let's take a look at it. All right, so as it relates to bring, there are different things that we can do to bring folks in. We can bring them in through our worship, through evangelism, clearly, right? Through workshops, we're going to talk to you about that in just a minute, and through our fellowships. Those are the ways that we will bring people in, right? Now, accepting them, this idea of ministry and fellowship. See, fellowship, we've messed up the concept of fellowship within our churches. Fellowship in many churches is defined as 2 pieces of chicken, green beans, corn, a roll, and some sweet water. That's what our fellowships have become, right? Okay, and then ministry. Look, if you want to run some people off, you get them and you try to push them toward, y'all do try to encourage members to get involved in ministry, correct? Okay, but now watch what happens. A lot of times what happens is that ministry leader is now like, this is my little fiefdom, this is my little kingdom. Can I be real again? It really shows itself like in the kitchen ministry. Y'all got a kitchen at your church? Y'all got a woman over that kitchen? If y'all are not careful, this woman is really in control. I'm not being chauvinistic. I'm just, you in the kitchen ministry at your church?
No, I'm in a hospitality.
Hospitality,
Yeah.
which is connected to the kitchen.
It's connected to the food. That's when I do food. That's it.
Okay, but do y'all get it? And if you're not careful, this woman is controlling, watch this, who comes into her ministry. And when a new sister or somebody wants to get involved, and it's real clear, okay, that can run some folks off. And that's why we got that under the accept, right? And then retain. Look, needs. Remember 3%, only 3% of the people say that I came to Christ or to this church because I had a special need. We have got, if we want to retain our members, if we want to keep our members, we've got to address their needs. I'm going to tell you how we do that. One way we do that is clearly, okay, I'm not against first principle sermons from the pulpit. Please don't misunderstand. Please don't misunderstand me. Okay? My roots go generations back in the Church of Christ. Okay? I could almost say I was literally born into the church. I know some of y'all saying all of us were born into the church. You know, I get that. But I'm saying generations in my family, Church of Christ. So I believe in the gospel. I'm sold on the gospel. I know we're in the right place. Y'all get what I'm saying? But if that's all we're giving our members, we're not helping them to meet the needs, because Satan is showing up whooping up on them. Satan whoop up on any of y'all? Okay, I'm just saying. So, and I got to tell you this, okay? Yes, the pulpit is not the only place where we can address the needs of our members. Another place we can do it is through our education ministry, right? But if all we're doing is we got these curriculums where we got to go through this book, and week by week we got to be on a new lesson. You all hear what I'm saying? I mean, how can you really get all of what, you can take one passage of scripture and stay on it 6 months. Okay, but we can mess up, is what I'm saying, with our education, especially when we're not addressing the needs. Okay, involvement. We got to get our folks involved in ministry, in serving, in evangelism. We have to get our people involved. Have you ever noticed? When I was youth minister, I would take our youth on the fourth Sunday of every month. We would go visit the sick. And by the way, our members really enjoyed when the youth came, because guess what? They would tell us, when y'all come, y'all don't just shove that cracker and juice down our throat. We would sit with them, we would talk with them. But here's my point with involvement and serving. We would go in there thinking that we were going to help them, that we were going to, build them up. Do you not know we walked out of there being more encouraged? And what does that do? That makes us want to do it more. And so we've got to get our members more into serving and ministry, because anytime you give, didn't God say, it'll come back? 30 minutes. All right, 30 minutes. Good. All right. Benny's keeping me on task. All right. And then, brothers and sisters, we've got to challenge our members. Challenge causes us to do what? Grow. And if I'm not being challenged, what am I? I'm bored. Right? If any of you have had children and the school calls you saying your son or your daughter is not paying attention, it's probably because they're not being challenged. Okay? So we got a challenge. Okay, let's move. All right. I threw this in because when you look at the parable of the sower, oh my gosh, we know about those people as the sower was sowing seed, right? Some fell by the wayside. And before the word could take root, what? The birds came by and, right? And then stony ground, what happened there?
Couldn't penetrate.
They started growing, right? They started growing, so they accepted the word, they accepted the truth.
Didn't have any roots.
They didn't have any roots, right? And so when they were pressured and when they were challenged,
Sun killed them.
they withered, right? Now the thorns, what is the thorn? What was that one? They were choked, right. Okay,
Too
so
much other junk in the field.
too much other junk in the field, all right? Okay, and then the good ground. Well, everybody know about the good ground, right? But watch this. Those who received the word among the thorns, do you realize that even though they were among the thorns, which is where they received the word, they still accepted the word. They still accepted the truth. Did they not?
Yeah.
Okay, they accepted the truth, but then something happened. The cares of the world choked them out. Okay? I'm connecting this with our meeting our needs of our members. Okay? Look, they accepted the truth in and among the thorns. And if we don't help them to deal with those pressures around where they, as well as those on stony ground, what are they going to do? They can't help but die. And so, as you all are elders and ministers even, if we are not feeding the flock, if we're not watching the flock, if we're not instructing against those things that Satan is pushing on us, how can they not leave? So we've got to address those things. Okay, now watch this. Even those that are among the thorns, okay, there are two ways to help those people. What's one way to help those people among the thorns? Think about a plant.
You can take some of the thorns out.
Okay, right. If you've ever had a garden or you got a yard, right, what do you want to do? You want to get rid of the weeds, right? So let's pull the weeds, all right? There's another way to help those people. What's another way?
Kind of brace them up with the support.
You can brace them up, but have you noticed weeds have a tendency to suck up all the resources? Right? So they'll be all right still in that case for a minute.
You can feed them.
You can feed them, right?
Get them out of their environment.
There you go. Okay, what we can do is we can uproot the plant and move them to some good ground. And that's where they're going to have the best chance of making it. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So you'll recall from the data that there are several reasons people come to your church, but the biggest reason was that they attended was because somebody invited them. Okay, now watch this. In a given year, your members would only have 52 opportunities to invite. 52 weeks? Yeah. They would only have 52 opportunities to invite. Okay, but watch this. In order to increase your chances of having someone join, you would need to increase the number of events and activities where your members could invite them. All right? So here's what we want to do. This is the first step of raising the bar. We will enable you to increase the number of times you and your members have to invite folks to come through our workshops. Now, our workshops focus in three areas: relationships, parenting, self-improvement. Do you know anybody that has a need in any of those areas? Relationships, for sure. Right? Parenting, for sure. Self-improvement, yes, for sure. All right? So that's one way ASSERT will help you increase the number of opportunities to invite. Now watch this. Accepting, as important as bringing new prospects in, is accepting them in. Church should be a place where members feel a part of the body. Each member should be given the opportunity to find a place to work out their salvation. We've got to help people to find a place and to find a way to work out their salvation. They should be allowed the chance to grow spiritually and mentally, right? Your members will thrive once made to feel at home and will then seek to bring others into their newfound home. Once they feel alive, once they get excited about what you're doing, once they get excited about what they're doing, they can't help but tell somebody else, right? And so that's the second step in raising the bar. Your members will be introduced to ministries and fellowship activities as they are helped to understand their gifts, talents, and abilities as part of our training modules. See, you ask your members, why are you not involved in ministry? You know what they'll tell you, what many will tell you? I don't know what my gifts are. Have y'all ever heard that?
Yeah.
Have you ever asked that question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got to help people to understand what their gifts, talents, and abilities are. That's the other part through our training and gifts. All right? Church and ministry leaders will be trained to be more accepting and accommodating as well. Greenville Avenue, even though I'm a member there, they have contracted with me to help them organize, train, and all their ministries. Ministry leaders, and by the way, a lot of our ministry leaders, in fact, 50% of our ministry leaders are either ministers, elders, or deacons. So I'm not only training our ministry leaders, I'm training our leadership, right? And pause for station identification, because we've been to some places where we've actually had an elder tell us, you don't train elders. What?
You stop learning, you die.
Hello? Okay. The only reason you wouldn't want further training is you think you got it all knowed up. Okay, you stop learning, you stop growing, and you die. Yes, sir. Okay, so that's what that's about. And then finally, retain. Whether new members or existing long-term members, all have needs and challenges. Those needs must be met if members are to remain a part of the body. If their needs are not met, they will begin to look elsewhere for relief and satisfaction. Pause for station identification. Because if their needs are not being met at your place of worship, where might they go?
Somewhere else.
Somewhere else, like where? Another Church of Christ?
Sometimes they go back to the world.
Sometimes they go back to the world. Yes. That's why, brothers and sisters, we must help our members to have their needs met. We've got to, again, I'm not against the gospel, but it's bigger than that, all right? Okay, members also need to be challenged. This challenge affords your members a chance to grow spiritually and mentally as they are invited out of their comfort zones and encouraged to do more for the Lord. One reason we are not doing any more than what we're doing is because we're real comfortable where we are. My wife and I counsel married couples. And you know what we've discovered? Some folks are in some real bad situations. And you know what? They're good in those real bad situations. Do you know why? Say that again.
They get used to it.
They get used to it. It is familiar.
And it's normal with it.
And it's normal. Hello. Right. And the reason we are not doing any more than what we're doing is because we have grown real comfortable where we are. You know, some folks sit in the same seat every Sunday. Hello? You know what? And you can go there. Y'all watch this. I forgot to tell y'all, I'm kind of crazy. Sometimes the seat cushion is is already molded because they sit there every. You remember Archie Bunker? Remember Archie Bunker? He had that. He could tell when somebody had been in his seat, right? Okay, we've got to help our members to get out of their comfort zones, right? Education department, watch this. Some of your members have been going to the same class forever. You want to shake them up? You want to shake them up? Go in there and say, okay, next month, everybody got to shift classes. Go to some other class. Get ready for some folks to get ready to go out that back door. Because we had gotten so comfortable. Right? Yes, sir.
Years ago when I was teaching a class,
Yes, sir.
I noticed the same people sits in the back of the class. So this particular Sunday, we walked there, I said, okay, everybody turn the chair around. So now the back is up front. And boy, one of them sisters got on me, and she bawled me out.
Yeah.
She said, I sit back here for a reason. Say, you know, some sisters have a dress on. You know, and you turn the chair around and they up front, you know,
Right.
this and that. Goes, that's the first time I tried it, and that was the last time I tried. But sometimes you need to do that.
Right.
You know, because people, like you say, comfort.
Right.
They're comfortable in the back.
Right. They are comfortable in the back. Watch this. And if your teachers don't challenge the students, then they don't really ever have to do the lesson. If your teachers are lecturers only, folks get in those classes and hide because they never have to show what they don't know. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? We got to shake some people up, brothers, sisters. Okay? All right. So here's what we offer. Workshop services, training, and classes. Now, Satan has some devices. Anybody know anything about Satan's devices? See, another reason members leave the church is because of Satan's attacks. As ministers and church leaders, we must instruct, equip, and lead our members around Satan's devices. So here's how Satan works. He works on our families. And do you all not know that Satan knows this? I don't have to worry about the church if I can tear up some families. He does not have to worry about the church if he can tear up some families. Now, what's really interesting about that, brothers, he'll start with the husband and wife. Because if he can get them at odds with one another, what are the chances of the children coming out of that thing whole? So he'll get that beautiful woman there and I at odds with one another. And you know what that does? It makes the children anxious, right? And we'll be fighting, not us, but we'll be fighting, married couples will be fighting, and the kids are just quivering in their rooms. Lord have mercy. Okay, so Satan will start working on the husband and wife, and then he'll work on the children, and then he'll work on the parents as well as a group, right? So he'll work on the family. He'll work on our finances. He'll either make you lose your job. You hear what I'm saying? He'll make us lose our jobs. Or our jobs can be so challenging that we come home with a bad attitude, right? Who do we take it out on? We don't dare take it out on the boss. We wait till we get home. We'll take it out on the kids. We'll take it out on the wife. Kick the dog. Okay, our possessions. Sometimes Satan will allow us to accumulate a lot of stuff. And when we accumulate a lot of stuff, He says, now I got you locked in, right? So now I can't worship as much as I want to because I got to pay for this stuff, right? And our debt, same thing. If he can get us in debt, he's got us under his control, right? And then he'll work on through our friends, through our boyfriends and girlfriends. Now, if you're married, you got to be careful with these boyfriends and girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? And if you're married and you go to work, right, and you have you ever heard of a work spouse?
Yes.
You got to be careful with that work spouse, right? What is a work spouse?
So when you spend more time on the outside, as you do with your wife on the inside. So
Right.
8 hours a day you spend with them, 8 hours or more.
Right. And you find yourself sharing stuff with your work spouse more than you do with your real spouse. You know, you start confiding in them. What's your name, brother? Brandon. Yes. Brandon, you start confiding. Now, you work at the church all the time? You full-time at the church?
Yes.
Okay. So that's even possible there at the church. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You got a secretary, bro? I'm just messing with y'all. I'm messing with you. I told y'all I was crazy. But yeah, that we start confiding in those individuals, and y'all, we got to realize Satan is at work. Co-workers, acquaintances, you know. After work, you might go somewhere and just kind of unwind before you get to the house. You better be careful with that unwinding. And then our careers, you know. Back in those days when I call it bushwhacked. Remember when Bush was president? I call it, we were bushwhacked. Boy, Bush had this economy in a bad way, right? He had us in that bad way. And so a lot of people ended up having to change careers. And by the way, don't let a man lose his job and the wife is working. I'm supposed to have 15 minutes left, I think. Okay, because I set my dog to bark at 11 o'clock. I got 15 minutes. Okay, but watch this. Don't let the husband lose his job and then the wife is working. Does that not impact the relationship?
Oh, yeah.
Any man that's worth his own salt, he's going to have a problem with that. However, in our society today, we got a whole lot of men that's real okay with that. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you know what, sister? There's a whole lot of women that's okay with that too. They let that booger lay up in there.
I guess they do. I don't know them.
You don't know any of them. Yeah. and then we all have aspirations. We all want to do something and be something. And Satan will even work with us in that regard. And if he can mess you up that way, where you are not accomplishing what you want to accomplish, then you begin to feel less proud of yourself. Right, okay. So that's how Satan will work. Okay, so in summary, is this thing working again? What happened? Watch it, it'll advance 6 or 7 slides.
Is the battery down?
No, I got full battery.
That says PowerPoint.
PowerPoint stopped working. You see how Satan works? Y'all, I just talked. That ain't nothing but Satan. Y'all know that ain't nothing but Satan. It's coming back. That's nothing but Satan. Okay, okay, while it's coming back up, I want to hear your thoughts, comments about what you've seen so far. Does any of this make sense?
Yeah, make a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay. If it makes a lot of sense, let me ask another question. What you gonna do with it?
That's my greatest challenge, is figuring it out. What do I do? How do I go about doing all of those things that you put up? I'm aware of this, most of it.
Right. But how do I go about it? Okay. I don't know if you were in here when. Hold on. I don't know if you were in here when I. There we go. I don't know if you were in here when I said I have this concept called the virtual assistant. Okay. And what I'm proposing is I am your virtual assistant. You focus on your ministry, your preaching, or your eldering, or your shepherding, or whatever, and let us come in, and we'll do some workshops that will allow you, watch this, to address the needs of your members. But watch this. Don't just limit it to your members. Invite your community, because guess what? Everybody in your community has issues in those same 3 areas: relationships, parenting, self-improvement, right? Not only that, so use us for those workshops, but I will also come in and work with you and your staff as it relates to your database. If you have a database, we'll pull that information out. I'll put it into a nice report, show you who you are, show you what's going on, so you'll know how better to minister to your needs. Let me give you a case in point. We have a tendency, who's over family ministry at your church, counseling and all that? Who does that? Is that you? That's not you? Okay. If you have someone who's over family, and if you don't, Satan works on families, right? Okay. So whomever's over your family, we have a tendency to group families into this category of family. All right? Now, let's bring it down to married couples. We have a tendency to group them into one category, married. But do you not know that there are some folks who have that nuclear family, right? Everybody in the family is biological, right? They got the same mom and daddy and all that kind of stuff, right? The kids are our kids, right? That's that nuclear family. But then there's that idea of a blended family. You know what a blended family is? What's a blended family?
Not biological.
Not biological, right. Okay, so imagine I'm married, I get a divorce. Y'all don't want to imagine that. Okay, but just for a moment, imagine that, right? It's what now?
It's life.
It's life.
That's what we are.
It's reality, right? Okay, and newsflash, I got a T-shirt. Yeah, went through that. I have 3 biological children. They're grown. I love married life. I love everything about married life. And I don't mind telling you, my wife was unfaithful. I don't mind telling you. That's life. That's just reality.
That's right.
Y'all remember that bumper sticker a long time ago? Stuff happens?
Stuff happens.
It didn't say stuff either, did it? You know what I'm saying? I told y'all I was crazy. I just call a spade. Okay, stuff happens. Okay, but I married this woman. See, because I love everything about married life. And when I started having trouble in my marriage, I couldn't afford the divorce. But I knew I couldn't stay in that situation. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Okay, good. Okay, so I left my congregation and went over to Greenville Avenue. And then I finally got a divorce. And then I started, because I wasn't looking, because I was still married. A brother even came up to me one Sunday after Bible class and said, Brother Bradley, somebody, one of the sisters is interested in talking to you. I said, man, do you see I'm still married? See, marriage means something to me. No, she was not that sister. She was not that sister. Okay, y'all, even though my marriage I was still wearing my ring because I didn't want those challenges. Because I know how Satan works, y'all. Okay, so this brother, I said, brother, I'm still married. Stop that, okay? But after the divorce, I started watching, I started looking. And y'all, I noticed this woman right there. She had 5 kids. And she had 5 kids. Somebody say, who in the world would marry a woman that's got 5? Yeah, Brother Bradley, darn tootin'. Look. When somebody told me that, I say, look, you do remember I was a youth minister. I do kids. I'm okay with that. Anyway, but y'all, this woman was always sitting in her pew. They always had the same pew. Every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, sitting there. I was impressed because my ex didn't have a concept of time. Ooh, it used to drive me bananas. And you know, watch how Satan works. We had 2 cars. She couldn't get ready. Guess what I would do? Go
Drive on by yourself.
Look at Satan. Do y'all see Satan working against us? Lord have mercy. Anyway, okay, in summary. So to answer your question, I want to be your virtual assistant. 5 minutes. You cheating me, brother. 11:07. Okay. I'll go with Benny. Okay, so here's in summary. Okay, if all of this is making sense, what I'm trying to communicate is let us be your virtual assistant. We'll come in and we'll show you. By the way, this is a gospel meeting coming up here, October 22nd through the 27th in Vicksburg, Mississippi. The Bypass Church of Christ in Vicksburg. Look at what we're doing. Saturday morning, family under fire. Remember I told you Satan is attacking families? So we're going to talk about family under fire. Saturday afternoon, this is for singles. How to say no when all when all systems are go. She went through that one. Oh, and you know what, Miss Diva, we have improved it. Oh my God. Okay, how to say no when you think your singles are struggling with how to say no? Do you think all their systems are go?
Yes.
You know they are, because I tell you what, in order for our singles to compete today, to have a chance of getting a mate, they feel pressured to go. We got to help our folks with that, okay? And then Sunday morning, look here. Sunday morning, we're going to do the Raising the Bar. I'm going to do that's for Bible study. And then Sunday afternoon, Destination Disciple. Ooh, y'all got to come see this tomorrow. I told you, I'm going to shake you up on this one. I'm going to shake you up with this one. Tomorrow, I might mess some of y'all up with Destination Disciple. Okay? And then all during the week, we're going to do unpacking old baggage, because all of us have baggage. We got that baggage when we were growing up, y'all, and we got to do something about that. Y'all got your blue cards filled out? Would y'all pass them down to the end? Beautiful woman's going to pick them up, and we're going to do a drawing here in just a minute. Y'all can keep that white one, but if you come back tomorrow, you don't have to bring it, but just keep it, because I'm not sure I printed enough for everybody. Okay, but look here. This is at 7. At 6 p.m., we're going to do our evangelism workshop, From Complicated to Completion. They got me working when I go down here for this one. Do y'all see that? I just wanted to show you, this is a kind of thing that if you incorporate our offerings, it will help you to get rid of some of those challenges that you face. You focus on what you do, we'll help you do the rest. We'll help you meet the needs of your community. If I had a chance, we'll run out of time, I would show you how, remember I mentioned the Cliffview congregation in Dallas? They contracted to do 6 of our workshops, one every other month, okay? And we told them, please make sure you invite your community, okay? It took them about 3 or 4 workshops before they really got it. But toward the end, those last 2, we had people come from the Potter's House. Anybody ever heard of the Potter's House? TD Jakes. Y'all, have y'all ever gone out on their website? Go out on their website and see what kind of resources they have. I got to tell you, they put a whole lot of us to shame. And you know why they put a whole lot of us to shame? Because they are helping people to address the needs that Satan is putting on the people, okay? They have a counseling center that's out of this world. Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, not too far from my house. They got a whole lot of money from the government. They built this huge facility. They got gyms. You know what they do with those gyms? They have these basketball leagues with these students, these kids, and guess what? They get kids from the elementary schools and all of that involved in that. And do you not know they send stuff, communications to those families where their kids are playing basketball, inviting them to come. Y'all, okay, I said all that to say, people were coming from TD Jake's place to our workshops because the congregation finally got this idea of inviting people. Remember, 78.5% of the people came to Christ or to this church because what? Somebody invited. Okay. All right. So, is that all the cards we got? Got one more here. All right. Now, once we pull your name, you got to tell us whether you want that snapshot for your singles, your married couples, or your youth. Okay? All right? So, we got to put them in something. Or just... yeah, nothing big enough anyway. So just, yeah, there you go. Let Miss Diva pull one. Let Miss Diva pull one of those cards. And whoever's name comes up, you're going to get a snapshot. And I'll give you the link so that you can then come back to us and tell us which one, either youth, married couples, or singles, and we'll do that snapshot for you. All right? We also offered for the entire congregation, but I couldn't give you that one away. I'm going to give you this one. All right? So who is this? Let's see who this is. Brandon White. That you, Brandon? The last one to turn his card in. All right. So Brandon, you let me know, and here, right on there, which one you want. Youth, married couples,
Or single.
or singles. I tell you what, how about we do one more? So y'all, because y'all were so gracious, y'all were a great audience. Let's do one more, and I give one more away, and we'll get you that snapshot. So Brandon, what you're going to do, and the rest of you listen up in case you win. I'm going to send you a link. Once you tell me which one of those you want, and then you're going to ask your members that fall into that group to go out to our website, fill that out. They fill it out. It's going to come to me, and then I'm going to collect all that data. I'm going to put it in a nice report for you, and I'm going to send it back to you, okay? Who do we got?
Brother Lewis Holiday.
Brother Lewis Holiday from Boulder Crest. Is that right? All right. So you write on here which one you want, married, singles, or youth, and I'll give you that. Okay, guess what, brothers? We're going to do the same thing tomorrow. We're going to give you a chance tomorrow to do that same thing, to pull. We're going to pull somebody's name tomorrow, okay? And here's what we'll do. When you come, if you already filled out a card, I'll make sure you don't have to fill it out again, right? I'll just make sure we got your name in that pack, right? And you'll have another chance to win, all right? Any thoughts, any questions? Because we got to go, right, Benny?
Yes, sir.
Any thoughts or questions? My wife says I got 2 minutes. I did not bring any literature with me. You got my card. We met it the other day in the restaurant. So please talk to me, and I will send it. If I can get to the what they call it, the Wi-Fi, I can send you something. I got a catalog that has everything that we offer and everything that we do. I could send that to you, and it even has some links in there where you can look at some videos that we put together, and it also takes you to some of our flyers online. I think that's a more efficient way to do things, right?
Are you talking about Destination Disciple tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Destination Disciple tomorrow. I told you. I was hoping I would shake you up today. But I got to tell you, brothers, like I mentioned, I may mess you up tomorrow. Because I've gone on this Destination Disciple, and I've been messed up. Oh, but it's been a good mess up. Y'all got to come see it. God bless you, brothers. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. I'm going to hear from you, right? I hope. Yeah. All right. All
When you
right.
get a chance, I know everybody want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about that right there.
Okay.
When you get a chance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody want to talk to you, I'm sure. Don't rush.
Okay.
Really enjoy it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Good class, bro.
Thank you, brother.
You have no more cards?
Yes, sir. Anybody want my card? It's right up here. Please contact. Where are you from?
I'm from 10th Avenue Church of Christ in Gainesville, Florida.
Gainesville. Please call me. I'd love to get down to Florida. No, sir. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
I'd also like to give this was link to your website.
Okay. All right.
So-
It's on the card.
It's on the card?
Yes, sir. www.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
it's on the card. Yes, sir. And if you, I forgot to mention that. This little QR code, if you have that app,
yes.
you can scan that, and it'll take you right
exactly.
to the website.
And we do that
Right.
with attendance insurance. So.
Yes. Anybody else need my card?
I'm gonna return mine here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Married couples on it.
Okay, married couples. I got to put all right? Okay, married couple. Married couples.
I'd like to get some.
Yes, sir. Please do.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Where you from?
Asheville, North Carolina.
North Carolina. I haven't been to North Carolina yet. Will you be the first? Please call me.
Okay.
How you doing, brother? Good. Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
Where are you from?
Jackson.
Jackson?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Did you get one of my cards?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. Absolutely.
Did you got one already? All right. Now, all my information is also on that card. I told you could keep that white one. So all my information is also on there.
Okay.
And you can scan those QR codes, and that'll take you right to our website. So please contact me. We'd love to help you out.
It's in your catalog, too.
Okay, all right. So send me an email. And then tell me what you want, and I'll send it to you.
Okay, that'll work.
God bless you, brothers.
All right.
Y'all gonna be here tomorrow?
Plan to be.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Lord have mercy. Thank you, love, for turning that off. Just